Defender. Hello, I'm Bart Matthews, your public defender. The public defender's salary is paid for by the community, and he is charged with the responsibility of giving legal aid free of charge to any person who seeks and needs it. It is the public defender's sworn duty to defend the public accused of crime until they are proved guilty in a court of law. And now, from the files of the public defender, we bring you the story of Pauper's Gold. A famous jurist once said that for every man who chooses to break the law, there's a reason. Find that reason, and you'll find a different man. Deputy Public Defender Joe Selway found that never had this rule applied more than in the case of young Gil Redmond, just out of the penitentiary, who had been rearrested, this time for carrying a gun.
Hello, Selway.
Oh, you knew I was coming.
Oh, the sergeant told me you've been assigned to defend me. Yeah, it's like old times, isn't it? It is good to see you.
You too, Gil. Sorry it couldn't have been under more pleasurable circumstances.
Well, that's life, barrister. Some people have to work for a living. Others are offered free room and board by the state.
Yeah. You had a girl, didn't you?
I hope I still have.
You want me to notify her that you're here?
I want you to keep her out of this.
All right. Well, should we get on with it?
Oh, just a minute. Pleasure before business. They don't furnish tissue paper and ribbon in here, so it's not wrapped very fancy.
What is it?
Well, when you defended me before, you got me off light. I wanted to, well, show you that I appreciated it.
Why, it's a cameo.
I engraved the St. Christopher myself. I hope you like it.
You've got talent oozing out of your ears, so what do? Get 3 years for armed robbery. Refuse to tell the police where you've hidden the money, and the very day you get out, get picked up with a gun.
Guess I'm just a bad boy.
They can be awfully rough on ex-cons caught with a gun.
Well, I'm pleading not guilty. Somebody framed me, dropped it in my pocket.
I need something to go on, Gil. Why were you carrying that gun?
Look, you helped once, but you can't help this time.
That's all you've got to say?
That's all there is to say. Guard. Oh, by the way, barrister.
Yes?
Speaking about screwy guys, did you ever take a look at yourself? You waste your time trying to help guys like me when you could be out in private practice making yourself a fast buck. Why?
Maybe it's because something like this means a lot more than a fast buck.
Get anything from Gil Redmond?
Not much. He must have had a very good reason for toting that gun, but he's decided to keep it to himself. You know, Bart, Gil is really a very good guy, and I'd like to see if I could set him on his feet again.
Well, maybe you can. If you could get him to tell where the money is, it would sure help with the DA's office.
He went to the pen before rather than tell.
Well, let's try anyway, huh?
All right. Oh, hello, Sergeant. Joe Selway. I wonder if you could arrange to have me talk to Gil Redmond in about 15 minutes. What? Thanks.
What is it, Joe?
Redmond's out of jail. Somebody won his bond.
Well, he's an important piece of property. Must be a lot of people he knows who'd go as bond.
Yeah. I think I'll find out just who made that investment.
Help you, Bud?
I think so.
Well, who's the prisoner and how much the bail?
The prisoner's name is Gil Redmond. I hear you made up the bail.
Sorry, Bud. This is no information desk.
I'm from the public defender's office. Redmond's my client.
That's nice.
The bond reads that Ann Carter went to bail. She couldn't possibly qualify for that amount. Who put up the cash, Hoke?
Look, I'm a busy guy, see? If somebody comes in and puts up the money for the doll, I wouldn't remember.
This is a nice business you have, Hoke. liable to get awfully dull around here if I have to put in a formal complaint that you're withholding material evidence.
Okay, so somebody else got Redmond out. Look, you're his lawyer. Ain't it enough that he's free? You gotta look a gift horse in the mouth?
This one I do. Who put up the cash, Hoke? Joe Mordello, one of Fred Hackman's boys.
Look, Counselor, Hackman can get pretty nasty. I don't want to get mixed up in this.
You're already mixed up in
But
it.
I couldn't help it. This big gorilla come in with the dough and said he wanted to spring your client. Like this, he makes it clear he wants it kept anonymous where he and Hackman are concerned. What are you gonna do?
See if I can keep my client alive.
Look here, Mr. Selway. These are members of the Orchidaceae family, commonly known as orchids, one of the largest group of flowering plants in the world. Over 15,000 species.
Very interesting.
This is a particularly lovely specimen, don't you think? But you obviously came here for some other purpose than to look at my orchids.
Obviously. It's about Gil Redmond.
Gil Redmond. Oh, yes, of course, a very nice young man. Now, how does he concern me?
It's a personal opinion. I think you're going to try and get some information from him and then kill him.
Well, as you say, that's a personal opinion.
But not without basis of fact. 3 years ago, when I defended Redmond against the charge of armed robbery, I got him off light, merely because he wasn't on your payroll long enough for him to get in any previous trouble. Now he's up for a second round. This time for carrying a gun.
No, that's too bad.
But the question is, why should Redmond want to carry a gun?
Perhaps he's afraid of the dark?
Perhaps he's afraid of you.
Why me?
Well, after the robbery, I got the impression that Redmond wanted to cut your heart out.
Wrong impression, Mr. Selway.
Oh, let's stop playing tag, Hackman. Everybody knows you were behind that robbery, but nobody could prove it.
And that includes you, sir.
But here's something I can prove. You bought Redmond's bail today.
So, I said Gil was a nice young man. I wanted to help him out.
The way I get it, you wouldn't help your own mother out without getting paid for it. And with Redmond, you plan to get paid plenty. $100,000 worth.
I would suggest that you leave.
Just remember this, Mr. Hackman. If Gil Redmond turns up with so much as a bloody nose, I'll walk the earth smooth until I see you get tagged for it.
Joe Selway called me this afternoon.
Well, what did he tell you?
He wanted me to try and talk some sense into you, Gil. There's a chance you can be let off from this charge if you'll only return the stolen money.
I keep what's mine. And 3 years in jail makes it mine.
All my life, all I've wanted is just to marry you. Bear your children, keep your house.
Well, that's the way it's gonna be.
Is it? I thought so 3 years ago when I asked you to quit Hackman and get a job. But you had other ideas, big ideas. So I had to wait.
Anne, there's something I never told you. Well, once I knew I was going to jail, I didn't think it mattered. But I